From bettas to minnows, these are the best fish to keep for your 10-gallon tank. Let's start with my top picks for those of you in a hurry. Number 1 for me is going to be bettas. They stand out with their varying appearance and they serve as a striking centerpiece in these size tanks. White cloud minnows are the easiest to care for among the fish listed in this video. They don't need a heater, they can be part of a school, and they're a hardy fish species. Pea puffers are unique, but they're semi-aggressive, and they're best kept in a species-only tank with others of their kind, especially in smaller aquariums. Now that you know my top picks, let's look in detail at all the fish that make the cut. For each fish, we've got key stats like their scientific name, size, temperament, and their swimming level. Let's dive in. Bettas are my personal favorite, and I think they'll be yours too. However, these fish should only have one of its kind in this size of a tank due to their fighting nature, earning them the name Siamese fighting fish. A single male betta is ideal for a 10-gallon species-only tank, ensuring that they thrive without competition. Despite their introverted personality, bettas have a colorful appearance with diverse personalities. They come in various colors and shapes to match any preference. They do require warmer temperatures than typical fish, so keep this in mind and match them up with other fish that prefer warmer waters. Want a video specifically about betta tank mates? Check out our video in the card for a video all about potentials. Guppies are among the top choices in the aquarium hobby. Known for their vibrant colors and peaceful nature, fancy guppies in particular thrive in both community and species-only tanks. They are livebearers, so it is wise to keep males separate from females unless you want breeding there. Male guppies are smaller, more colorful, and sport longer fins, making them preferred in aquarium setups. As long as you're aware of their potential to breed like crazy, they are relatively carefree, and they adapt to a number of tank conditions. Also known as Medaka or Japanese killifish, Japanese ricefish are fascinating, and they're playful creatures often overlooked in the hobby. Originating from rice paddy habitats in Asia, they've been bred for centuries. These peaceful fish thrive when housed with other calm fish and larger invertebrates. For optimal coloration and behavior, it's best to keep them in groups of 6 or more. However, due to their jumping tendencies, a tank hood might be required for a glass lid. These fish are highly adaptive and one of the more underrated fish in the hobby. Don't overlook them at this tank size, as they can make great fish for a 10-gallon tank. Endler's livebearers are akin to the common guppy, only smaller. They breed readily in home aquariums like guppies and mollies, and to prevent breeding, keep only same-sex specimens. Do keep in mind that sometimes females can be placed in a tank and they might bear fry as they store sperm from their time at the local fish store. Males, like guppies, are smaller and more colorful than females, and these vibrant fish are low maintenance and enjoyable to watch as they explore the entire tank. They are an excellent choice for beginners interested in nano fish. The chili Rasbora are small, vibrant fish ideal for a 10-gallon tank. They are ambiverts, so they're good either with their own kind, community fish tanks, or invertebrates. These orange to red fish with striking black markings on their sides and fins are captivating to aquarists. Chili Rasboras are schooling fish, and up to 20 can be kept in a planted 10-gallon tank with effective filtration. They pop the most in a heavily planted tank, as their red hues complement the greenery that you might put in an aquascape tank. These species are graceful schooling fish, a beautiful centerpiece for a 10-gallon aquarium. These fish come in various appearances like gold or long flowing fins, to name a few. These fish do great in tanks without heaters, as they don't mind room temperature water. They're a great choice if you're looking for a low maintenance tank. The celestial pearl Danio is another beautiful candidate on this list. They thrive in a heavily planted tank and they can be kept with other peaceful fish, but they'll be outcompeted by other aggressive and fast-moving feeders as well as bigger fish. Since these are good in a school, ensure that they're in at least a group of 6. This is another fish that does well in room temperature waters. However, keep in mind they're not as hardy as white cloud minnows. The neon tetra is a classic nano fish that earned its place on this list, as a 10-gallon tank is the smallest neon tetras will thrive in. They're also easy to find at any pet shop and they're easy to care for too. It's best to keep a school of 6 to 8 for this small tank. While breeding over time has made them less hardy, they are still great fish. You can opt for black neon tetras if you want an easier to care for neon breed. Though often disregarded in the hobby due to their less colorful and simpler appearance compared to their male counterparts, female bettas still have vibrant colors and personalities. Females are also less aggressive than males, making them suitable community tank inhabitants and easier to pair with other fish. A small group of female bettas is called a sorority. However, a 10-gallon tank is too small to try this, so you're best off with keeping just one female betta and other tank mates. Zebra Danios are adaptable and hardy. These active fish are great to watch in a 10-gallon tank. While they're not always the schooling type, a group of 5 to 6 should be kept in the tank together. A good amount of swimming space is going to be needed for this species. Keep in mind their activity levels, as they are dither fish and some tank mates might prefer less active. Speaking of dithers, we've got a whole video about them that you can look up in the card above. The Dwarf Corydoras is a cory catfish that stays small, hence the namesake. These species are schooling types that swim around actively in the midwater of the tank, compared to other cory cats that are bottom dwellers. These fish require a minimum of 10 gallons. They can be kept in a school of 6 and also do great in a community tank. The freshwater pea puffer is a unique tropical fish with a bold personality. These small predators are aggressive and they thrive in a species-only tank. For a 10-gallon tank, I recommend keeping just one freshwater pea puffer. However, some aquarists have successfully housed up 3 in this tank size. If you do intend to keep more than one, ensure your tank is densely planted and includes plenty of structures like driftwood to provide hiding spots. Successfully housing them with other fish can be super challenging. The Dwarf Gourami is one of the smallest gourami, and it makes a great option for 10-gallon tanks. Male Dwarf Gourami should not be kept in groups at tank sizes like this. It is possible to combine this gourami with sparkling gourami. However, they can be a challenge to other community fish as they can be territorial. Another good option would be honey gourami, which are relatively peaceful and can mix with a variety of tank mates in a 10-gallon tank. Alright, this is our first non-fish on this list. Freshwater shrimp will add vibrancy to your 10-gallon aquarium, for sure. These invertebrates are algae eaters, leftover seekers, and are good tank cleaners in general. Amano shrimp are the best algae eaters in the freshwater shrimp family, while the cherry shrimp come in various color morphs from cherry red to deep blue. While shrimp fry are vulnerable to fish, adult cherry shrimp can coexist with certain nanos like dwarf cories. If you're looking for snails, Nerites make a great choice. These snails in this case aren't pests, but they're great tank inhabitants. These are good algae eaters and they're unable to breed in freshwater, which means you won't have to worry about them overpopulating your tank. These snails add very little bioload to the tank. There are a few species of Nerites in the aquarium hobby, including the horned tiger, zebra, and olive Nerite snail. All of these are ideal for 10-gallon tanks, and we can't forget that these snails have a great appearance inside. Now that you've seen the list, you're probably wondering, who is this guy creating these videos? I've had 25 years of experience under my belt, and I've helped a lot of people in the aquarium hobby, from beginners to seasoned vets and even enthusiasts like yourself. I've personally had a 10-gallon setup before, and I've tested these fish in real-world setups to determine the best species for your tank. You can learn more about me by visiting my website, aquariumstoredepot.com. Now, let's step back and talk about how to stock your 10-gallon tank. 10-gallon tanks are small, and it's a misconception that smaller tanks means easier setups and maintenance. Water conditions can be even more challenging, actually. You can succeed if you keep in mind these 3 points. 1. Choose the right fish. 2. Provide good quality filtration. And 3. Keep up with regular maintenance. How many fish can comfortably live in a 10-gallon tank? Many aquarists often refer to the inch per gallon rule for stocking, which suggests that 1 inch of fish per gallon of water. While this guideline can be helpful, there are exceptions. For instance, 10 1-inch fish might seem appropriate, but a single 10-inch fish would clearly be too large. It's essential to consider specific species needs. Smaller fish can be housed in greater numbers than larger ones. Overcrowding can lead to behavioral issues, plus poor water quality, impacting the health of all your fish. There are also other fish that are highly territorial and, while small, will try to claim the entire tank for themselves. A 10-gallon aquarium typically doesn't hold a full 10 gallons of water. It's never filled to the brim to prevent spills during feeding and maintenance. Additionally, your aquarium will likely include 1 to 3 inches of substrate, hardware such as a heater or filler, thermometer, etc., hardscape features like rocks and driftwood, and ornaments or decoration. Due to these factors, following the inch per gallon rule means adjusting for the actual usable space, accommodating about 8 inches of fish instead of 10. Not all small or nano fish are ideal for a 10-gallon tank. It's important to take the following into consideration. First, size. Naturally, a fish kept in a tiny aquarium wouldn't be larger than the tank. When selecting fresh fish at the pet store, novices often make this error. 90% of the fish in the aquarium stores are young fish that still have a lot of development to go. Always be careful to research a fish's mature size before bringing it home. Next up, hardiness. Since this is a smaller tank that we're dealing with, it can be less stable and less forgiving. Parameters can change, so Hardy species are preferable to survive fluctuations in these water conditions. Next, behavior. Not only are hardiness and size vital factors to consider, but comprehension of a fish's species' innate behavior is also essential. Male betta fish in particular are aggressive and territorial fish that do well in tiny aquariums, but only if they're the only ones in the tank. Other amazing nano species like freshwater pea puffers should be maintained in smaller tanks or with other members of their own species. Many small fish are also schooling fish and do require a group of them to be purchased in order to not be stressed out. Now, let's talk about setting up your aquarium. Whether you're building up a community tank or keeping a single species of fish, a wonderful place to start is by examining the native habitat of the fish that you keep. I'll briefly outline your requirements in this part. Starting with filtration. Any 10-gallon aquarium has to have an aquarium filter. The only thing left to decide is what kind of filter to acquire. Today's market offers a wide variety of aquarium filter models. You must choose one that fits your fish species, tank size, and price range. My recommendation for the perfect display tank is a hang-on-the-back filter. With the exception of the input and outflow pipes, these filters take up little space in the tank, giving the appearance of being much more natural. Even the basic sponge filter might offer excellent filtering at a very affordable price. Canister filters also work if you manage to find a small one like the Owase Filto Smart Thermo. Next, heating. The majority of aquarium fish and inverts that hobbyists keep are tropical species, meaning they thrive in warm climates. You might be able to use an unheated tank if you reside in a tropical region of the planet, but regardless of where you reside, using an aquarium heater is typically the best choice because it keeps the temperature constant. For keeping an eye on the efficiency of heaters in your fish tanks, a little aquarium thermometer placed anywhere within the tank is going to help you out. I drop a lot of truth bombs about heaters in my best aquarium heater video, which is a great one to watch if you're looking for a heater. Check it out in the card above. Lastly, lighting. For general lighting needs, LEDs or fluorescents are sufficient, unless you're growing live plants. If that's the case, opt for specialty planted tank lights in the correct spectrum for plants needing moderate to high light. Aim for a 6 to 10 hour daily lighting period to stimulate a natural day cycle for your fish. It's best to use a timer for consistency. Many modern LED systems have timers built right into their features. Maintaining a 10-gallon tank involves much more than just having a cycled aquarium and the right fish for the setup. Maintenance is just as essential as a whole. Water quality. Filters may help with this aspect, but regular partial water changes are important to remove any waste or leftovers that affect water conditions and nitrate levels, which can harm your fish. Always perform water changes based on the parameters of your fish tank, which you can determine with test kits. And speaking of, testing water is a maintenance task that every tank owner should do. A simple test kit is vital to monitor pH, hardness, ammonia, nitrite, and nitrate to ensure that the tank is properly running. And lastly, cleaning your aquarium. During water changes, a gravel vacuum is super helpful for removing debris and substrate from hardscape. Algae on glass and hardscape can be cleaned with an algae scraper and a small brush, and periodically rinsing filter media with conditioned water or pulling your water tank is essential so you don't lose your bacteria cultures. Next, let's talk about plants. I've always been an advocate for live plants in tanks as they're super beneficial, but I'll give you 5 more reasons to grow live plants in your 10-gallon aquarium. Live plants provide your fish with a more natural habitat. Microorganisms that grow on live plants are a great food source for small fish. Live plants oxygenate the water, plants use nitrates as a fertilizer, and growing live plants is fun. Plant-specific lighting is beneficial for live plants, and advanced aquarists may consider CO2 injection for densely planted tanks. For this type of setup, easy to care for plants like Anubias, Java fern, Java moss, and hornwort make great choices. We've got a beginner plant video that you can check out for more choices in the card above. Now, where are we going to purchase these fish at? Many of the species on this list can be bought at local fish stores, but trusted online fish dealers are also a good source for buying nano fish. They're convenient, they're hassle-free, and they're easily accessible. My top recommendation is going to be purchasing fish from Flip Aquatics, and many of these fish are available to purchase on there. You can click on the link to their store in the link in our description. Flip is one of our partners on our site, and their quarantine process is top-notch, and it's a rare find for freshwater fish. And there you have it. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and click the bell icon to be updated with our latest videos. Also, check out our website for everything and anything aquarium hobby related. Or better yet, check out the next video to your right. Until the next video, see ya.